Hello and welcome to a second video about percentages, and it's also the last one. So let's look at type 1. If you remember from the last video, we looked at type 1 and type 2. The formula for type 1 is different from the formula for type 2. That is why it's important to be able to tell the difference. You work them out in different ways. So an example of a type 1, what percentage is 3 of 15? You know it's going to be a type 1 because the answer is a percentage. So, step 1, make a fraction. On the top is the part, the number you want to know about. On the bottom is the total number. So in our example, the part is 3 and the total is 15. And then we take that and we multiply it by 100. So 3 by 15 times 100. And we can divide some things here. So we have 3 on the top and 15 on the bottom. So we can divide both of those by 3. On the top, 3 divided by 3 is 1. On the bottom, 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then we can divide again. We have 5 on the bottom and we have 100 on the top. So we can divide both of those by 5. 5 divided by 5 on the bottom equals 1. 100 divided by 5 on the top equals 20. So now we have 20 times 1 on the top and 1 times 1 on the bottom. So that's 20%. So notice that the answer to type 1 is a percent. This is the easy way to tell the difference between type 1 and 2. Type 1 always has a percentage as the answer. So another one. What percent is 3 of 12? Step 1, we make a fraction. 3 is the part, 12 is the whole. Step 2, we take that fraction, 3 by 12, and we multiply it by 100. Step 3, we do any division that we can. So in this case, we have 3 on the top, 12 on the bottom. We can divide both of those by 3. So 3 divided by 3 on the top equals 1. 12 divided by 3 on the bottom equals 4. So now we have 100 over 4. And we can divide again, step 4. So we can divide the top and the bottom by 4. So on the bottom, 4 divided by 4 equals 1. On the top, 100 divided by 4 equals 25. And that is the answer, 25%. Okay, those were both type 1. Now let's look at type 2. So that is questions like, what is 60% of 20? So step 1, we write the percentage as a fraction. Now, the percentage is a fraction. The bottom number will always be 100. So 26% as a fraction is 26 by 100. 97% as a fraction is 97 by 100. 60% as a fraction is 60 by 100. There's always 100 on the bottom of a percent. So the next step, we multiply by the total, 20. So we're doing 60% of 20. So we have a 60 divided by 100 as the percent, and then we have to multiply that by 20. So our calculation now on the top, 60 times 20, on the bottom 100. And we can cross out 2 zeros on the top and 2 zeros on the bottom, and we end up with 6 times 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom. 6 times 2 equals 12. 12, not 12%, yeah? And this is what you notice about type 2 questions is the answer is a number, not a percent. So we're saying what is 60% of 20? If you like, you could say what number is 60% of 20? The answer will be a number, not a percentage. So this is the easy way again to tell the difference between type 1 and 2. For type 2, the answer is always a number, not a percent. Okay, let's do another one. What is 90% of 10? Step 1, we make 90% into a fraction, always 100 on the bottom, so 90 by 100. Step 2, we multiply by the total that we are trying to calculate. So what is 90% of 10? 10 is the total, so we add that to our question. So now we have 90 over 100 times 10. And then we try to divide. So we can divide the top and the bottom, 90 and 100. We can divide by 10. And so we get 9 and 10. 9 on the top, 10 on the bottom. And we have now 10 on the top and 10 on the bottom. We can divide both of those by 10 and they become 1 and 1. So now on the top we have 9 times 1, on the bottom we have 1, which equals 9. Okay, so again, not 9%, only 9. 90% of 10 is number 9. Now let's look at percentage over 100%. What does it mean if we write 200%? I'm asking you this question. What do you try and answer? What do we mean if we write 200%? Okay, I'm going to give you a clue. 100% means 1. So what do you think 200% means? And the answer, I'm sure you've got it, is 2. 100% is 1, 200% is 2, 300% is 3, etc. So how do we use percentages over 100%? Many times this is when something has changed, and especially when it's increased. So for example 1, we might say sales in the shop increased last year by 20%. Or we could say sales this year were 120% of last year's sale. They are up 20% compared with last year. Another example, the price of rice in 2025 was 200% of the price of rice in 2020. This means it was twice the price. Okay, we're going to look now at price increases and reductions. Price reductions are called discounts. So let's look at the example. When Nona Nanu bought some rice, the price had gone up or increased by 20% compared with last time. How many percent is the price now compared to last time? So when you're comparing two prices like this, you always start with the old price, and you call the old price 100%. So the price has gone up 20% from the old price. So the old price was 100. So now it's 20% plus 100 equals 120%. Notice that the question doesn't tell you the price, only how many percent it has changed. Okay, that was increases. Price reductions, discounts. See here the example. The shopkeeper tells you the price of tomatoes is 10 baht for 1 kilo. You ask her if she can reduce the price, and she agrees to reduce it by 10%. So compared with the first price, what is the new price? Just like the previous example, the old price is always, always, always 100%. So the old price is 100%. The new price is 100% minus 10% equals 90% of the old price. Once you know this, you can calculate the new price. 10 baht was the old price times 90%. You make 90% into a fraction, 90 over 100. So you have 10 times 90 over 100. You can cross out 2 zeros on the top and 2 zeros on the bottom, and the new price is 9 baht. Okay, question. Is this a type 1 or type 2 question? And the answer is it's type 2 because the answer is a number, 9 baht, not a percentage. Okay, so this time the problem is buried in a story. Thrapuedo thought it would cost 20,000 baht to build his new house, but it cost 25,000 baht. What percentage over was it? So is this a type 1 or type 2? Okay, and the answer for that one is type 1 because the answer will be a percentage. So again, the old price is always 100%. The old price goes on the bottom, 20,000. The new price goes on the top, 25,000. And then we multiply it by 100. So we've got 25,000 times 100 on the top, 20,000 on the bottom. And we can cross out heaps of zeros. 4, we can cross out all 4 on the bottom. There are 5 zeros on the top. We can cross out 4 out of the 5. So we're left with, on the top, 25 times 10, and on the bottom, 2. So we can divide again. We can divide the 2 on the bottom into the 10 on the top. The 2 becomes 1 on the bottom, and the 10 on the top becomes 5. So now on the top, we have 25 times 5, and that comes to 125%. So the answer is it cost Thrapuedo 125% of how much he thought it would cost. One more step. The question was, what percent over was it? So 125% is not the correct answer. We need to minus the old price to show only the increase. So the old price, always 100%. So 125% that we just calculated minus 100%, the old price, equals 25%. So the house has cost 25% more than he thought it would. What if the question doesn't tell you the old price? So for example, you have to pay 60 baht for 2 watermelons. The shopkeeper tells you the price has gone up by 20% since last week. So how much were 2 watermelons last week? So first you have to decide, is this type 1 or type 2? And the answer is, it's type 2, because the answer is going to be a number, the price, not a percentage. We know that the new price is 20% up from the old price. The old price, as always, 100%. So the new price is 100 plus 20 equals 120% of the old price. If we multiply 60 by 100 over 120, we will find the old price. So 60 times 100 over 120, we can cross out 1 0 on the top and 1 0 on the bottom. So now we have 60 times 10 on the top and 12 on the bottom. We can divide 12 and 60 by 12. So 12 into 12 on the bottom equals 1. 12 into 60 on the top equals 5. So now we have 5 times 10 on the top and 1 on the bottom. 5 times 10 equals 50. So our answer is 50 baht. So now we're going to look at adding and subtracting percentages. You can add or subtract percentages like normal numbers. So for example 1, there are 50 students, 35% pass the exam, what percent fails? This is a subtraction minus problem. The total number of students, 50, equals 100%. If 35% pass, the 35% that fail is 100 minus 35 equals 65. So the answer is 65% fail. Example 2. In the class, 29% of the students think Ronaldo is the best footballer in the world, and 63% think Messi is the best player. The rest choose a different player. What percentage choose a different player? So notice in example 1, I told you the total, 50 students. In this question, they don't tell you how many students are in the class. And the good news is it doesn't matter. You know the total is 100%. So the math problem is 100 minus 29% who like Ronaldo minus 63% who like Messi. And the result, the number who chose a different player, is 8%. And that's the answer. Okay, we're going to look at simplifying questions. Questions can be very complicated and buried in a story, or they can be fairly simple, or they can just be a math calculation to do. So we're going to look at the three. In these examples, the basic question is the same in each one. So let's look at the first one. This is the most complicated. There are 25 students in the class. 20 like Justin Bieber, and 5 don't like him. What percentage like Justin Bieber? Now we don't need to work out the answer. What I want you to see is that that's quite difficult. You've got to work out which numbers do I need and what should I do with them. Okay, the second example, the same problem. What is 20 as a percent of 25? Okay, no story, just basically tells you the calculation that you need to do. A lot easier. And the third one is the actual math problem. So this is x, the answer, equals 20 divided by 25 times 100. That is the easiest of all because it's already in exactly the format that you want it in. So this is quite difficult. And students everywhere in the world, even if they're studying in their own language, find it difficult to take a story like in example 1 and make it into a maths problem. They can do the maths problem, but they find it difficult to calculate from the story what is the math problem I need to do. Okay, here's a few things to memorize because memorizing these will make your life a lot easier. Firstly, the main idea of this video, type 1 questions, the answer is a percentage. Type 2 questions, the answer is a number. You really need to get that into your head. Second things, it'll save you a lot of time if you memorize a few percentages that are used a lot. So half equals 50%. Quarter equals 25%. 3/4 equals 75%. 1 by 5 equals 20%. 1 by 10 equals 10%. 1 by 3 equals 33.34%. 2 by 3 equals 66.67%. If you memorize those ones, they will save you a lot of time along the way. And the last thing to memorize, the formula for type 1 is the part times 100 over the total. Or if you like, the part over the total times 100. The formula for type 2 questions, change the percentage to a fraction. So 25% becomes 25 over 100, and then multiply it by the whole. So if the question is 25% of 50, we do 25% over 100 times 50. And this is the end, my friend. See you next time.